Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt. Today we're hanging out in my living room, so that way we have somewhere to set up and keep all our props and stuff, because we have a few things that I want to talk about. So, last episode I mentioned that the arch of my foot fell, and that's what's causing me all the problems. So, today I kind of wanted to go into a little bit of science on it, show some anatomy pictures, talk about my shoes, and then kind of what I'm doing to get through it and kind of manage all the pain and everything like that. There's not a lot of pain. But let's start off with my shoes. So I run in the Saucony Kinvara, my favorite shoe ever. These are my old shoes, the ones that I got when it first happened back in cross country. These are now pretty old, and I don't run in these anymore. But these are the Kinvara 10, I think. Yeah, these are the Kinvara 10. So what I'm running in now is the next level of Kinvara, Kinvara 11, I think. Hold on. Yeah, the Kinvara 11. And these are pretty cool. They've got a 4mm offset. It says in the shoe that you probably can't read. But that's the slope from the back of the shoe to the front of the shoe. And the 4mm offset is pretty close to the lowest that you can get, which means that it's very flat and you don't have a lot of material down here at the sole, which is really good for me because I used to heel strike quite a bit, and when there was a lot more material, it was a lot easier to heel strike. And so since I've got a much shorter heel, I can land flat-footed, and it prevents the heel striking a lot, which has helped me with quite a few of the issues that I have had in the past. But I've been running in the Kinvara since the Kinvara 6 or 7. Since I got competitive running shoes, it's been the Kinvara. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I mean, I don't think I'd run in any other shoe. These are fantastic. Oh, hi, surprise appearance by the dog. Go. Go. Kaylee, go. Thank you. Surprise appearance by the dog. Love that dog. Her name is Kaylee. She's been my best friend doing all of my running recovery stuff. She'll go sit out in an ice bath with me. It's fantastic. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. I've been running in those for 9 years now, and they've been the best thing for me. I love them. And most of the time when you have any injury dealing with the lower leg, especially the foot, the first thing people suggest is that your shoes are wrong. You bought the wrong pair of shoes, or your shoes are too old or something like that. So I did a lot of thought about that. The shoes that I was wearing at the time were fairly fresh. They only had probably half their duration out on them, maybe 150 miles or something like that. It really wasn't that worn out, and they were the same shoes that I've been wearing, the Saucony Kinvara, forever. So I don't think that was as big of a cause as people would normally think. And I think when I went into the athletic trainer, the first thing that I mentioned to him when I did that was that it just happened all of a sudden, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can just get inserts to keep your foot from doing that." And yeah, that probably would have worked if I had changed shoes, but I really didn't change shoes, and this was just an all of a sudden thing. So I was really hesitant on just getting a new pair of inserts, because I really didn't want to have to deal with this for the rest of my life and always have a certain type of insert in my shoe so that I can just walk around. I didn't want to do that. So I was trying to get some exercises to kind of get me through there, help get me back to normal. And that was a little bit more of a struggle, finding the right exercises. I found a few that have been pretty helpful for me, and I've been very thankful about that. We're going to get into that in a minute. But first, I wanted to talk about a little bit of the anatomy going into that area. So, I have this book here. It's the Anatomy Coloring Book by Wynn Caput and Lawrence M. Elson. I will put the link for this in the description so that you can get access to this yourself. It is a very fantastic book. I used it for my anatomy class in college, and it goes over bones, muscles, nervous system, digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, all of that in a very clear, concise way, and it's very factual. I love it. I would not have made it through anatomy without this. So, pulling in here onto this is the page with all the foot stuff. So down here at the bottom, you've got the 3 different arches: the medial longitudinal arch, the transverse arch, and the lateral longitudinal arch. So the medial just means the inside, so that would be this part, this arch of my foot. The lateral is this part, and then the transverse, here, let's move the camera down a little bit. And the transverse arch goes across the top of your foot. And that is achieved with the transverse arch, which is the one that fell for me, is achieved with these bones. The cuneiforms and the, cuboid. The cuboid and the cuneiforms. And then there's a ton of different ligaments and muscles that all hold it up and keep it from falling down, which is really important. And so I think that when I injured my foot, some of the ligaments or the muscles got overstrained and they stopped working. They kind of gave up on it. And those muscles, they need a little bit of leverage. They need a leverage point, so they go up into the leg, which is important for a few of the exercises that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But something that I've stumbled onto recently that's been really helping me out, because before, like when it first started getting really bad, I couldn't walk around and be on my feet all day because it would like get worse just from standing up. So I really had to come up with a short-term solution to help get me through for the next few days while I was working on exercises. And I found that in athletic tape, because one of my classes in college was prevention and care of athletic injuries, and we learned how to tape ankles, tape feet for certain different things. And one of the tape jobs that I learned is called the teardrop arch tape. I will find a link for that where you can look it up. And it's designed to support the arch so that when your foot has weight on it, the tape is designed to support your foot so that when you put weight on it, it doesn't collapse. And I'm actually going to show you guys that here in a minute. I have some tape. And the tape that I have is cloth back adhesive tape. And that's very important because this stuff does not stretch at all. It's very firm and it's not going to tear. This tape isn't going to tear. It's really strong. I love it. And so I guess now's the time to show you how I tape my foot. And let's just move down to here so you can get full view of my foot. Alright, so this is my foot. Oh, this is going to be really interesting to do. Let's try it here. Alright, so we're going to start off with an anchor right across here, just to make sure that it doesn't move around. And then here's the actual taping part. We start here. We're going to go around underneath, around the heel, back up and across. And it's going to create kind of like an X shape right here. And then it's going to come around the back of the heel. But it's going to end up both sides here and here. I'm trying to make sure that it's totally flat. And it's really important that I'm doing this with my foot off the ground, because when your foot is off the ground, even if you have a fallen arch, your arch is going to be raised. It's going to be there. When you put weight on it, that's when it collapses. And so that's kind of what the tape is trying to do. It's trying to match and get secure along the normal state of the arch. Right now I'm just cleaning up the edge, taping around it for a little bit of security. So I haven't really pulled the tape tight, adjusted my arch at all. This is how my foot would be normally if it was just held up. So where the real magic happens is when I set my foot down and I put weight on it. So normally when you put weight down on it, the arch kind of collapses a little bit, kind of goes in. And the tape is supposed to kind of help support that and keep it from doing that. So that's what I've been doing on a regular basis, pretty much every day, to keep my foot a little bit more secure, because there's been a lot of times where I have tried to walk around without the tape, and oh my gosh, I can't do it. It's 11:30 right now, and I didn't have my foot taped because I wanted to do it for this video, and just walking around this morning has been very uncomfortable. It hasn't hurt. It's not the worst thing ever. I'm a fortunate guy, so I'm not complaining about it. But it's just that's a necessary step in my whole recovery process, having that tape there. And it's definitely a great thing. So now I want to kind of go into I wanted to go into some exercises that I do to help with my arch, to help get it back to where it's supposed to be. And let's see, we can probably do this. Alright, so the first one is an arch lift, and I'm lifting just the right here of my foot, just straight up. Try and get you a couple more angles of this. Those are called, or at least I call them, arch lifts. And just lifts the arch straight up right here. And that's supposed to strengthen all the muscles that hold that arch up, just so that they can do it over and over and over again. Another thing I do is toe curls, where you just curl your toe down, and that's working on the muscles that under here that pull down. Also lifting up with my toe, which works on the muscles up here. I do ankle turns, rotate them this direction until you feel the burn, this direction until you feel the burn, and then gas pedal. And each one of these is trying to get the full range of motion, so not just baby turns like this, but full turns all the way around. All the way around, all the way up, all the way down. That's really helpful because it works on all the muscles up in this area. All the lower leg ones. I also do calf raises, just raising up, trying to focus on keeping both feet right around the same area. That way one's not falling in or falling out. Everything just goes straight up and down. So another thing that I just recently learned about is professional YouTuber here, don't worry about it. So another thing that I've been realizing is that when your arch collapses and pronates in, it cascades all the way up your body. And that was something I hadn't addressed recently, but I'm addressing it now. So when your arch drops in, it rotates your entire leg welcome back. Sorry for the awkward cutscenes. So, as I was talking about, when your foot pronates inside and the arch collapses, it can cascade up the body. And I don't know if I can adequately show this, but so right now I'm pronating my foot to the inside, simulating an arch collapse. And when that happens, you can see my knee kind of rolls in. That actually can rotate your entire upper leg, rotate the femur, rotate the tibia and the fibula, and so that can cause a lot of problems, and that can cause problems in the knees, problems up in the hip, and that is not a good thing, because then that one injury can cause a whole bunch of other injuries that all stack on top of each other. So I've been trying to focus on getting my hip a lot more flexible. So I've been stretching like this. We're making progress. We're still not there. We're very tight here. I'm also stretching like this to try and get a little bit more flexibility there. And then I've been working on trying to get the splits. We're a long way from that, but we're working on it. And then just all around in general, trying to get hamstrings, quads, calves, trying to get all that super flexible. That way that I can help prevent any of those secondary issues from occurring up in the hips and the knees. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm focusing on the hips and trying to strengthen those so that my leg doesn't roll or rotate inward. And I'll show you a couple of the exercises that we do. Alright, so this one, I know, it's the best. I call it hippies, but they're called hip abductions, which is where your hip, you're just going to flex and lift your leg up. Just straight up, and that's just working on your hip abductors, which are the gluteus medius and a couple others. And another one that I'm doing, because the leg rotates inwards when your foot pronates, is focusing on rolling the hip out. So I do something like this, where you just lift the leg up. I keep my foot about the same spot and just lift the leg up. Lift the knee up. Focusing on rolling the hip as the motion. I know this is the best thing you want to watch. Oh, hi Kaylee. My dog's coming in for another surprise visit. Hi. Hi. All my other dogs hanging out there too. Just watching us have a lot of fun. Alright. So those are some of the exercises that I do, and that's also the tape that I do to keep my foot going strong, and some of the stretches as well. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas for strengthening and stretching and stuff. What's your routine that you do to keep yourself healthy? I'm always looking for things to improve on, and I'm always looking to help others improve. So if you want to leave a comment, give a like, I don't know, subscribe for more content after this. I don't think I'm going to quit this YouTube channel anytime soon, and thanks for watching. Catch you in the next episode. Have fun, stay safe.